Today, we are slicing through the skill-will matrix and the innovation adoption curve like a hot knife through butter. First up, the skill-will matrix. It's not just a fancy grid, it's a roadmap for figuring out who's got the chops and who's just along for the ride in your organization. We've got 4 quadrants, from the high flyers, can plus will, to the I'd rather watch paint dry gang, can't plus won't. The matrix is a tool to assess people on 2 factors, their skill level and their willingness to perform tasks. It helps in understanding the best approach to develop and lead individuals. Now, let's throw in the adoption curve and who's who of innovation embrace. From the let's do this yesterday innovators to the wait, we were supposed to change laggards. It's a model that describes the adoption of a new innovation categorized by varying willingness of different groups. About 16% of a population would go into the innovators and early adopters, the ones to focus on first, while the majorities in the model come later, when evidence has been given in the context of their environment. They'll be on board in different ways. Meshing these 2 models together, here are 5 golden nuggets for you leading an organizational transformation. First, scout for talent. Second, train the willing. Third, stir the pot. Fourth, shape the future. And 5, prune wisely. Let's break it down, shall we? First, scout for talent. These are your can plus will dynamos within the innovators ready to leap before they look. Identify them, cherish them, and for heaven's sake, give them room to play. Buddy up with them to get the transformation going and acknowledge their contributions. Visualize progress and challenges to keep them engaged. Like we mentioned in earlier published videos, a community of volunteers as the driving force of the transformation. Yet, you might go into organizations where you cannot find the can plus will kind of people. In that case, bring others on board with you, preferably people with complementary skills and personalities from yours. So you can train the willing, our second recommendation listed before. The can't plus will folks, innovators or early adopters, eager beavers lacking the know-how. Invest in their growth, they'll pay you back in innovation gold. These are the second type of people you want to have on board in your transformation community. The ones that will spread the message, expanding on the word of mouth you'll need to get the majority later on. They will be happy mentees for the scouted talent, acknowledging both in their skills and a setup for growth on all levels. Now, these first 2 recommendations will lead you to your main audience at the start of a transformation. It is wise to ignore the others for now and focus on driving the biggest impact worth pursuing. If not, you'll end up with too many constraints and unwillingly, which will limit your success, most probably ending up where you have started instead of progress. It's about creating the conditions to succeed and bring high impact in a relatively short time frame. The only way to make it felt in an organization in an emotional way, as well as seen in a more rational way, data-driven manner, from which you can continue the journey, leading us to recommendation number 3, stir the pot. Most probably a can plus won't crowd, generally somewhere in the majority spectrum of the adoption curve, skilled yet snoozing. Light a fire under them, with testimonials and data that presents a new world worthy of their talents. They can turn the tide if you get them on board. Elevate the word of mouth from the willing to unseen levels, so they can't ignore there's better ways to apply their talents and enrich their CVs. It's all about driving up their motivation to join the transformation, which leads us to recommendation number 4. Shape the culture. The late majority in our skill will saga, the low will in other words, with possibly questionable skill, they need a nudge, even more than the others we talked about. Show them success stories, make change less scary, and watch them bloom. It's about reassurance that the ongoing transformation is not going away and will become the new normal. An established phenomenon in their organization to either get on board or to be left alone. Taking the data from the adoption curve statistics, at this moment you have about 50% of the organization within the transformation, driving a different kind of success forward. At this moment in time, it should be clear to everybody in the organization that the transformation isn't going to stop and will continue till the entire organization is transformed. That message should sound through every corridor in the building, top down as well as bottom up. This kind of noise will get the late majority with low will to get on board. Getting us to recommendation number 5. Prune wisely. The laggards, and most probably the can't plus won't. Tough nuts to crack, but not impossible. Personalize their journey or help them find their joy elsewhere without rocking the boat too hard. When everything else fails, it's time to clean up. Generally, the last 16% of the population according to the adoption curve statistics, which matches my own personal experiences of having about 10 to 12% of people leaving an organization I help out applying my ways of simplification, removing all kinds of complexities that stand in their way to be star players. And there you have it, a blend of skill, will and the adoption curve savvy that will have your organization not just surviving, but thriving. It's not about being the loudest in the room, it's about being the one who turns on the light. That's all for today. Keep innovating, keep simplifying, and whatever you do, don't be a laggard. Until next time, keep those gears turning, and hey, don't forget to subscribe for more straight shooting advice.